What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Stand, where we are getting in a fantasy football draft every day before the start of the NFL season. I was actually hoping to be able to get my 14-team piece puzzle put together. However, for some reason, whenever I keep adding the keepers, the draft order and keepers aren't necessarily keeping right now. Hoping I'm still gonna mess with it, hoping for tomorrow, but instead we're actually gonna come back in here, hop in another puppy 3, another best ball draft, cheap $5 ones. It is filling up, so if anything, we do get a chance to come in here and get a good draft in with some other live drafters who have money in this as well. So we are seven. We are waiting for 7 people. Am getting this draft on a little bit later than I normally will be. So normally have. So it may not. It may take a little bit to fill up, but we'll of course see where we fall in this draft and determine our draft strategy from there. Appreciate you guys checking in on today's Friday episode. All right, guys. So we are here at the start of the draft. Little less than 50 seconds left until the beginning, and we have the 5th pick here. With us having the 5th pick, I will say we do have a shot perhaps at maybe getting Isaiah Pacheco in our running back champion in the 3rd round. So how I'm going to be attacking this will be a wide receiver start, and with hopefully our guy being there in round 3. I will say, lately, James Cook has also been rising on my draft board. So, should Pacheco not be there and we still want to go the strategy of wide receiver, and then, of course, running back to make sure we get that champion, James Cook may be that pick right there. Right now, we are hoping for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Essentially, that would be my pick. For those who have been following, he's the one with the least amount of questions. A.J. Brown is also in consideration for me as well. I'm excited to see what Kellen Moore can possibly bring to that Philadelphia offense. I know they just traded for Jahan Dotson to be in that wide receiver 3 role. However, I still think A.J. Brown is a stud, will be the stud. Jamar Chase right there, so we will go ahead and get Amon-Ra St. Brown as our champion. And like I said, should Amon-Ra not have been there with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, I still will go A.J. Brown just with the least amount of concerns. Jamar Chase isn't practicing. Justin Jefferson has Sam Darnold attached to him, and then of course if anything happens to Sam Darnold, it's Nick Mullins behind that he is going to be thrown to him. I strongly believe that they paid him the amount of money this year just to make him happy, knowing that this will be a learning year for obviously the quarterbacks, learning and growing year. But now with J.J. McCarthy not even on the field for the entire season, really going to see how that may affect his development. Finishing this 12th round, though, Nico Collins actually right there sneaks into the 1st round. Just looking after we went Amon-Ra St. Brown, Breece Hall, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Bijan Robinson, A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, and Drake London to start the 2nd. So GWB, of course, goes wide receiver to start. Jahmyr Gibbs after that, Marvin Harrison Jr. 4 picks away from us, who I'm essentially targeting here. I still believe in Devontae Adams. I think Cooper Kupp will also be good. However, it just depends on Matt Stafford's health. Malik Neighbors is going to be exciting. However, he's tied to Daniel Jones. We are 1 pick away, so at least we're going to go ahead and get one of our other wide receiver champions. Saquon Barkley. Right here, Devon A. Chain available, Kyron Williams, Cooper Cut, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors. I actually don't have a lot of Malik Neighbors. This is actually going to be very scary, purely on the fact that uh, there are so many rookie wide receivers that are high on my board that I feel this roster essentially will be one strong veteran with just rookies that do have a shot of actually taking a hold of their role. Keon Coleman has a shot at being Josh Allen's wide receiver one. Brian Thomas has a shot at, of course, breaking out this rookie year and being the wide receiver one over Christian Kirk. One pick away from us, we will get the chance of either Isaiah Pacheco or Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry goes there. Ooh, actually, I lied. I thought there was only one pick, so we actually may not get Pacheco here. If that doesn't happen, Mike Evans goes. We do have a shot at Devontae Adams. However, Isaiah Pacheco to me has been my running back champion, who I would, of course, love to have as my RB1. Sometimes maybe able to get him as an RB2, depending, of course, had we gone Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then maybe Devon A-Chain and Isaiah Pacheco, or Kyron Williams, Isaiah Pacheco. Heck, could have got Derrick Henry or Isaiah Pacheco. Not necessarily saying that, of course, had we taken him, Pacheco would have fell to us because that value would have been almost gone. Right after us, though, taking Pacheco, Devontae Adams goes, followed by DK Metcalf. Rashee Rice, look at that, right in the third round. His ADP is rising, especially here in best ball, just with the fact that his looming suspension that everyone thought he was going to get this year just hasn't. No talks, no progression. Been taking a lot of Mark Andrews. However, I may take a jump and choose Trey McBride over Mark Andrews. Should the two be available there? Obviously, Trey McBride has to contend with targets from Marvin Harrison Jr., but Trey McBride has also been there longer and already has that rapport with Kyler Williams. So could definitely see a second-year jump from Trey McBride. Mark Andrews will, of course, always be a stud. However, he is getting older, so if we do go Mark Andrews, we, of course, will have to go Isaiah Likely as a backup, especially in this best ball format. And heck, even in redraft, that would probably be the best route to go should anything happen, and because Isaiah Likely is going to be great in that position. Trey McBride does go a couple picks before. Josh Allen after that, who was kind of in consideration for us. Trying to think here, Zay Flowers. Ooh, we do have a shot actually right now in a playmaker of Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. This one is tough. I may go Jalen Hurts here. Lamar Jackson, of course, would also be in consideration, but in the fourth round, I'll take my quarterback champion in this best ball format. We are still targeting Jaden Daniels later on. 7 picks away, could still possibly get, if even Dalton Kincaid kind of is my cutoff. I don't want to take the Kyle Pitts trap again. I mean, this could be the year. It could always be the year. George Kittle's going to have some breakout games as well. Mark Andrews goes. So there is 5 picks where there's a chance we lose out on Dalton Kincaid. Should Dalton Kincaid not be there, there are actually 2 guys queued up in Calvin Ridley and James Cook that I like as well. James Cook actually goes right there to Batman 895. Well, Batman, if there's one person I'm going to lose to, it's going to be you. But look at that. CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith, wide receiver 2. Brandon Ayuk, future pending, but wide receiver 2. Mark Andrews, and James Cook. Oh, look at that. We lose out on the 2 guys we really wanted. George Pickens is in consideration here. Just going to look. That's pretty much, yeah. I mean, the fact, though, that we still get George Pickens here. Terry McLaurin. You know what? Oh, man. I was perfectly fine with George Pickens, but was going to actually switch Terry McLaurin there because I don't have a lot of Terry McLaurin stock. After the Jahan Dotson trade, I think, I mean, he's just going to be peppered with targets. We do like Jaden Daniels, so I think for me, as much as I love George Pickens, I'd much rather have Jaden Daniels throwing my wide receiver the ball there than Russell Wilson or even Justin Fields. So that's something I'm actually going to start making that switch. Should George Pickens be there, we'll go Terry McLaurin over George Pickens. Should Calvin Ridley be there? Man, I feel like Calvin Ridley still is a little bit higher on my board. However, if we do obviously get Terry McLaurin, pairing him up with Jaden Daniels would be key. Because with the fact that Jahan Dotson is not there anymore, maybe that opens the role for who the other wide receiver 2 may be. But like I said, I still think Scary Terry is going to go ahead and get his. We are actually 6 picks away from our next one here. And there are some wide receivers we do like that we essentially would have to take a shot on. Man, Zamir White is dropping. That to me is crazy. Kyler Murray goes right there, 3 picks before us. A couple wide receivers before then. Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Rashad White before. Keenan Allen goes there, 1 pick away from us. Honestly, Joe Mixon wouldn't be a bad pick as an RB2. Still targeting. Joe Mixon actually goes right there. Looking here, exciting receivers, Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman. Still some running backs available. David Montgomery, Alvin Kamara, James Conner. Going to go ahead and actually get the 4th wide receiver in Keon Coleman right here over Brian Thomas. Purely with the fact that Keon Coleman, I believe, is the starter there, will take over there. He's got the size, 6'4" frame. I mean, if there's someone who I believe can dominate. The one thing that honestly kind of sold me to him was the training video, off-season training video of him and CeeDee Lamb, I believe, training together. Like, he just looked like a pro. He looked like he belonged. So I believe in Keon Coleman. I think he's going to be great this year, and especially in this 14-team dynasty league that I'm a part of. You know, getting him as late as I can, of course, is only going to help me the year after. Brian Thomas Jr. does go about 5 picks before us. Bummer there. James Conner as well, losing out on some running backs. Going to queue up the ones that I like, however. Zamir White, still kind of ADP-wise, real low on the list here. One pick away. Jackson Smith and Jigba goes. Yeah, it's essentially 14 picks, so there's no way I would have to risk that. Alvin Kamara is there, however, coming back from the back injury. I think the Las Vegas Raiders, I mean, could be a run-heavy offense. This guy's nickname is Zeus. He will be the 3-down back. he's on a team where the coach wants to run up the score. So to me, Zamir White is one of the guys that you have to have on your roster this year. And if we could have him as an RB3, awesome. But I'll gladly take him as an RB2. If I really, one of these picks, went early tight end, maybe would have to have Zamir White as an RB1. I'm comfortable with that. I mean, I'll sure have to maybe think about Alexander Madison later just to ensure that running back pick. But he's my bet. I'll take a bet on this guy. It'll probably bite me in the butt later on, but he's the one that I'll go ahead and take a chance on. Raheem Mostert does go right there. Pretty bummed about that. Had he fell to us, would more than likely give him a shot. Jake Ferguson queuing up here. Jaden Daniels may have to go ahead and pull the trigger on him if we really want him. And guess what, guys? We really want him. There's some other tight ends later on we can always take a chance on. However, I'm just looking here after us. Batman doesn't have a quarterback. GJG doesn't have a quarterback. And there's a good chance Jaden Daniels could go there before them. So we are on the clock. Oh, did Jaden Daniels? Jaden Daniels goes right there before. That is wild. That is wild. I'm actually going to take another rookie in Caleb Williams here. I like Caleb Williams. Dak Prescott was there available. Honestly, could provide that veteran presence to our quarterback situation. But I think Caleb Williams, he has a chance to be special. And he also does provide some of that rushing upside that we like of Jaden Daniels as well. And here's the thing. Dak Prescott doesn't run it anymore. Dak Prescott also apparently has some minor injuries that also linger. So I want to take a chance. I'll take a chance on the younger guys. And guess what? We have two great quarterbacks, both with different buys. We're actually two picks away. It is our pick. My pick right here, even though there are two good tight ends available in Brock Bowers, David Njoku, I feel we can't pass up on Brian Robinson Jr. And with the quarterback or running back situation where this has honestly been my running back backfield that I have been targeting. Brian Robinson Jr., I think Cliff Kingsbury even came out and assured that Brian Robinson Jr. is the starting running back. So I believe he's going to get the touchdown touches at the goal line. Everyone talks about how, Kenyon Drake had that great year when Cliff Kingsbury was in charge. So when they get to the goal line, his favorite play is run it right up the middle. So Brian Robinson Jr. is that running back. Yes, Austin Eckler is going to get some of that PPR value, but Brian Robinson is going to go and get those touchdowns and early bet to at least maybe get 10. So I'll take that. I love the fact that they three all have different buys. Because even in my redraft leagues, as we're, kind of looking here, maybe Jerome Ford, Rico Dowdle, even though I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to go ahead and get some of those touchdowns, I think Dowdle does really have a chance to overtake that role. 6 picks away from our next one. I queued up Jerome Ford. He is the next RB1 I like, other than Devin Singletary. There's the other ones in where you can take a chance on Rico Dowdle or Trey Benson, who later on in the year, could be great. Jalen Polk, he looks like his ADP is rising. Still sleeping on the tight end position. You know what? 2 picks away. This is tough because even though Goddard is there, we could stack him with Hurts. I just feel like running back is just a position. Dowdle goes right there before us. Running back is just a position that we have to take care of. So right now there is Jerome Ford or Devin Singletary. I've normally been going Jerome Ford right here. I'm actually going to go Devin Singletary purely on the fact that I don't have a lot of shares in Devin Singletary. Yes, it is tied to that New York offense, but right now he is the true starter, number one, especially with the injury happening to Tyrone Tracy early on a couple weeks ago. So he's the one I'm going to go ahead and take there. We do lose out on Dallas Goedert. Was hoping he possibly would have been able to fall to us. Likely chance, but there's still other tight ends we can take a chance on to possibly stack with the guys we have. Like with Caleb Williams, we can go Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett. That's already 2 tight ends out of the 3 that we can target. We're 4 picks away. Should Jerome Ford be there, go ahead, take him. If not, maybe Trey Benson or Jalen Polk. I don't know if I necessarily want to already go and just, take either Freiermuth or Schultz. It is our pick. Hey, Jerome Ford actually goes and falls to us. Can't pass up that value. He's an RB1 in the 11th round. Nick Chubb is going to start up on the pup. That's at least 4 weeks. The reports are even when he does come back to action, it's at least going to be 4 weeks until he gets acclimated. So Jerome Ford will be the starter and the guy for at least 7 to 8 weeks. And that's a guy I will gladly have on my roster in the 11th round. We're 13 picks away, more than likely going to lose out on Jalen Polk. May lose out on Darnell Mooney. Jahan Dotson is there. Could go Kirk Cousins, who is going to sling it. We do need to start picking up our tight end, so Cole Kmet's there. Luke Musgrave provides value, could make a jump, that sophomore jump. Chuba Hubbard, another running back that's going to provide value, at least for the first 4 weeks while Jonathan Brooks is out. Xavier Legette right there. Adam Thielen, who will provide some value. Hey, I meant to queue up Legette, but I'll take McLaughlin as well, should the value be there. Shad Bateman. We're still 7 picks away. Dalton Schultz actually goes there a couple picks before us. Jalen McMillan slated for wide receiver 3 role 4 hours ago. Look at that. Good for him. Three picks away from our pick. Ooh, Jared Goff being there is actually also tempting too, just being a great third quarterback. Man. The value in Jared Goff still being there. Darnell Mooney goes. I think everyone has their tight end. Going Jared Goff. I'm getting my third quarterback. I love him. Does have the same bias Hurts, but still, I think Goff is going to be consistent this year. Shooting for Cole Kmet to fall to us within 7, and that is definitely a gamble that we are messing with. Hoping just everyone sees the reports and thinks that he will be the one that will just fall in value. There are some other ones, of course, we can take chances on. Colby Parkinson, Theo Johnson, Zach Ertz. Pat Fryermuth goes right there for Matt Stafford after that. We're hoping TJ Hawkinson actually can maybe deter some of these other guys from taking tight ends. No one really needs one. We are the last team taking a tight end here, so it is the gamble of possibly Cole Kmet. Rashad Bateman goes there, a couple picks before us. TJ Hawkinson goes, there you go, which actually leaves Cole Kmet. Rotates with Everett, that's perfectly fine. They paid the veteran to come in. He's going to get his. $14 picks away, 13 picks away. Adam Thielen goes right there after us. Well, look at that. Carolina receivers go back to back. Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette. Both are going to have great value. I think would be good picks here late. Jaleel McLaughlin right after that. Kirk Cousins. Tight end Noah Fant. 9 picks away from us. Luke Musgrave right after. So a lot of these tight ends are starting to go. Mostly just backups. Khalil Herbert from there. 7 picks away. Looking at our roster, we have 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Essentially, we could get Zach Ertz late. Running back wise, too, Alexander Madison, we could get late to just pair up with Samir White, lock up, one of these backfields. We have 5 starters, which I'm excited about. That's awesome. I think to me that is a great best ball start. On the wide receiver front, I mean, we have 2 rookies with our veterans. Chuba Hubbard's still down here in the 14th round. Tyler Boyd, I know there's no recent write-up on his profile here, but I did see something that the offensive coordinator there, I think in Tennessee, personally recruited him, from or in free agency because he was there in Cincinnati. So Tyler Boyd is actually someone that possibly be on my radar right here. Just looking, yeah. Kind of coming in. That's who I'm going to go, Tyler Boyd. Especially with DeAndre Hopkins, having that injury to start. We'll see if he could have that role kind of right up the front. So that's going to be awesome to see. 7 picks away. Tim Patrick would love him to be our 6th wide receiver, but we'll start attacking some of these tight ends as well. We'll see who falls. Chuba Hubbard finally goes there at the end of the 14th round. 3 picks from us. Ben Sinnott is going to be the big name there. Jermaine Burton. You know, I just don't know if I want to risk Tim Patrick just not being there, but to me, I'm going to go ahead, grab him. Whichever 2 tight ends falls to us later on, those are going to be the ones that we choose. Obviously, Colby Parkinson right there was the one that I was more highly considering, just with him being part of the Rams offense versus Theo Johnson and the Giants offense. Zach Ertz is really the one that we are hoping falls to us, but right now we have all 6 of our wide receivers, have 5 of our running backs, but this is our wide receiver core in Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, George Pickens. Not a bad starting wide receiver 3 role. I mean, really the other consideration we had was, instead of our wide receiver 3 being George Pickens, possibly could have been Terry McLaurin. That's really, up to you. Honestly, Terry McLaurin is rising a little bit more up my board with the Jahan Dotson trade. And the fact, too, is that I kind of like Jaden Daniels more than the 2 quarterbacks there in Pittsburgh. So that is something to consider for my redraft leagues that are coming up when looking. I still think I have Calvin Ridley at least above Terry McLaurin, or out of those 3, it would be Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, George Pickens. But then that's, I guess, me saying I like Will Levis more than Jaden Daniels. 6 picks away. Can go ahead, get off this wide receiver page. We don't need it anymore. We do need our tight ends. Do have a shot at Colby Parkinson. We'll, of course, see. There's a couple of guys who only have 1 tight end. Kamani Vidal goes there. Geno Smith. Luke McCaffrey. So with us, we're going to go ahead, go Colby Parkinson. Cade Otton is there. Could provide some value, but Colby Parkinson, I mean, if he's going to, like I said, if he's going to be the starting tight end for the Rams, that's the offense we want to be part of. 7 picks away from our next one. And here, we essentially are what? Only have 2 left? Yeah, we only have 2 left. And the 2 that we're hoping is just one more tight end and then Alexander Madison. Everyone has at least 1 to 2 tight ends. Like I said, the one person, or the person we risk losing out on, is Zach Ertz. 2 picks away. The one person we've lost out on the most, thinking that he'll fall to us, it was Alexander Madison. But a lot of people here who sleep on the running back position, they are taking chances. And, I mean, he's the RB2, especially when you start looking at who is available. Darius Slayton, Kendre Miller, Deontay Foreman. I mean, could maybe go Deontay Foreman, but, he's, of course, hurt. So, in line for number 2 RB role, we have Zamir White. We have our 6th running back. Look at that. 5 starting running backs in Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Brian Robinson Jr., Devin Singletary, Jerome Ford, and then Alexander Madison as our lone backup to Zamir White. Locking up that running back core. We have our 3 quarterbacks, 3 strong quarterbacks. I love Jalen Hurts. I think Caleb Williams has a chance to be something special starting off, this rookie year. So And of course, Jared Goff, who has the best schedule, plays indoors pretty much all season. And the fact that we love Amon-Ra St. Brown, we get a chance to get that stack. And I think it's going to be a great stack for us this year. 2,893. We may get projected a little bit over 29. I'll go ahead and take that. That's normally where we have been. Kind of smack dab right in the middle. 29.46. Brock Purdy slept on him, so he went Bijan. We'll recap this here. 3 picks away. We'll go ahead and see if Zach Ertz can fall to us. Like I said, Theo Johnson there. Greg Dulcich goes. Kate Otten. Oh, wow. Zach Ertz goes right before us. That is a bummer. And hey, look, he ties him with Jane Daniels. So it only makes sense. We're still going to go ahead, go Theo Johnson. I just think, there's other ones, Mike Gesicki, Chigakonkwo, maybe Chigakonkwo. I haven't really seen a lot of write-ups, but could possibly be in a tie share. We got our third tight end, and we got right there a little bit over 2,900 projected again, right underneath 3,000. Obviously, you feel great when you got 3,000, but 2966.9, we'll take it. After this last pick, I'll go ahead and recap this roster. Just looking here on the Puppy 3, 2966. Let me see. I think yesterday was our highest. And hey, we actually got our highest projection. Yeah, 29 there. Look at that. Other than those first two, essentially got better as we did this draft. So pick number 5 in this and in this spot, we of course went Amon-Ra St. Brown as our number 1. In our wide receiver 2 role, normally I've been going Devontae Adams. However, Malik Neighbors has been rising up, especially in best ball here. In other platforms, he should still be maybe around that round 4 range. Here, he rose up to round 2. Obviously, very risky, but just an exciting player. I'll recap just here as we leave this draft with another balanced roster of 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends. Our quarterbacks are Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, and Jared Goff. Running back room, very exciting. We get 5 starting running backs in Isaiah Pacheco, Zamir White, Brian Robinson Jr., Devin Singletary, Jerome Ford, and then, of course, grabbing Alexander Madison as our lone backup just to shore up Zamir White. Wide receiver core, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, George Pickens, Keon Coleman there, Tyler Boyd, and Tim Patrick. Those 2 are our wild cards. Like I said, the reports are that Tyler Boyd was personally recruited there by his offensive coordinator, because I think from the Bengals, because now he's in Tennessee. Tim Patrick, reports I believe are he is the wide receiver 2 there. And when you start getting towards the end of the draft, much rather take a shot on the wide receiver 2 left rather than the 3-4 on that depth chart. Tight end, we obviously slept on this position, just seeking value everywhere else. So we ended up with Cole Kmet, 2 Ty, 2 Caleb Williams in this best ball format. Got Colby Parkinson just to be that tight end from that LA Rams offense. And Theo Johnson, who we were hoping to grab Zach Ertz there. Ends up going the pick right before us. Should have looked to. That guy had Jaden Daniels, so he was hoping to stack him. So obviously that's something to always take into consideration is who is drafting ahead of you, because that is going to determine who may fall. But this is another great draft, guys. Obviously, like I said, sleeping on the tight end. Surprised we're still projected so high. But appreciate you following along. This is Friday. Good luck to you guys who are drafting this weekend. I do have my one of my real live drafts tomorrow, so excited to just get together with friends, talk fantasy football, hang out, eat some good food, and have that good conversation. So you guys take care. Appreciate you following along again, and we'll catch you again next week. So see you later, guys.